welcome. What have we got for you tonight? Well, we've Jerry Hall and David Soul. They're about to star together in a play. But in fact, they met for the very first time today. I hope they're getting on out there. Also, Professor John Crown, he's got lots of things to say about politics and the health service. Actor and comedian Rishtard Cooper, he'll be here later on. He's on stage at the moment. We've got music from Tom Baxter, from Claire Teal, and from a wonderful newcomer called Naomi O'Connell. You'll be seeing her later on. Des Cahill on the hazards of his trade, life after politics for Liz O'Donnell, and lots more. And if you'd like to go on holiday to LA, you know, Hollywood, Beverly Hills, the mountains, the beaches, the shopping, well, yeah, sorry, you're all here, you can't enter. It's for the people at home. If you're at home and you want to enter, we could be sending you there with $5,000 to spend. I'll tell you all about that in just a few minutes' time. But as I said, my first two guests met for the very first time earlier this evening. And if they don't get on with each other, there's going to be real problems, because they're lined up to read beautiful love letters to each other here in Dublin next week. Now, she's a 6-foot blonde goddess. He, a talented actor who was a real heartthrob when he played the part of a hip young cop in Starsky and Hutch. So let's find out how they are getting on. Will you welcome, please, Jerry Hall and David Soul. Hi, Jerry. Good to see you again. David, you're very welcome. Please make yourselves at home. So, come on. How are you two getting on together?
I hate her.
No, we're having
I
a
love
great
her.
time.
Everyone assumes that everyone on telly knows each other. And that's not so. You two had never met.
No.
We sat next to each other on the airplane today.
Yeah.
And that was it.
I stumbled into the plane looking for a seat, and there she was.
That never happens to
It
me.
does.
I
I mean,
stumble into the
wonderful. It was
plane
like-
and I don't get to sit beside Jerry.
It's like written in a novel or something. And I sat down and found out that this is the woman that I'm working with.
You had heard of each other, of course.
Of course.
Yeah.
All right. Did you remember him when he was in Starsky and Hutch?
Yeah, and quite a few things since then. Big fan, thrilled to be
All right.
working with him.
And is it reciprocal? Are you a big
Just
fan of hers?
absolutely. She's absolutely the most beautiful. In fact, this place called Love Letters, if I had met this girl 20 years ago, 25 years ago, I would have written some love letters too.
How did this thing come about? If you don't know each other, it's a play, it's going to be on the Tivoli. How did it come about that you two particularly are together?
Stephen Falloon, yeah, the producer, and Michael Scott, the director, thought we'd be a good team.
Yeah. And so far, we're proving it's true.
So far, well, it's early days
And we'll
yet,
be doing
I
it
hasten
for
to say.
2 weeks at the Tivoli.
All right. Now, what is the format of the play? I mean, it strikes me that you will be either writing or reading love letters to each other.
Well, yeah, the story is it's a very simple story, but it's the lives of two people who knew each other as young people.
Age 7.
Age 7, I think it
Yeah,
was. Yeah.
we start writing.
And then over 40 years, they exchanged letters, and so they went through, growing up as a teenager, through puberty, through the first, discovering the sex and all this kind of thing, all the way through to the end. And I won't say any more about it because it'd give the story away. But they share these letters, and they go through their various marriages and divorces and have children and so forth. And it's kind of it's an unfulfilled love story.
Unrequited.
Unrequited love.
Well, they sort of get together for a minute, but but they love each other.
Say no more. It's intriguing. It's intriguing enough as it is.
It's beautiful.
You both are
beautifully written.
very accomplished actors, and yet neither of you formally trained as such. Jerry, how did you become an actress, having been a well-known model, one of the supermodels, in fact?
Thank you.
How did you end up being...
Well, I did take drama in high school, and then I did study the Actors Studio and the National Theatre. I studied all through my modeling career. I was always studying and doing bits and pieces, and I really started. My first play was in 1990. It was the first play, but the past 10 years, I've fallen in love with the theatre and been doing quite a lot of plays.
Yeah, and David, you were really a singer from way back, became an actor, and then became a hit singer again.
I basically used music to put myself through school because I was studying political science. I wanted to be a teacher. That's what I wanted to be. So I really call myself an accidental actor. I just fell in love with it. Partly, I think, to escape the Midwest, where I grew up.
And your first marriage.
And the remnants of my first marriage.
The remnants of you. You've been through how many?
Several.
But at least they fit on the
You're
fingers
the
of one
marrying
hand.
kind.
But
huh?
they're all my best friends now.
Yeah, because you're gone.
Because I'm yeah. Isn't it amazing how that works?
Jerry, on the other hand, you're famously married and divorced from Mick. You guys get on really well together. You live next door.
I mean, well, we were together 23 years and have 4 children. And, you know, it's horrible. Getting a divorce is always the most horrible thing. But we decided to be friendly for the children. And, you know, now it's platonic love.
Yeah, but you do get on. I mean, what
Yeah.
is the secret of that, by the way? Because lots of people, you know, very publicly fragment. I mean, I won't ask you to give advice to Sir Paul and Heather. I wouldn't dare.
Yeah.
But you know, they publicly fragment, and yet, you know, when there's a child involved, they got to stay friends, or at
Yeah, I
least
think
civil
it's
with
so
each other.
healthy for the children if the parents are in agreement about what's best for the children.
Right.
But it's not always difficult. Sometimes one or the other is crazy. You know, we were lucky. It takes 2 to get on.
So you both were crazy, is that it? And David, you were in a relationship, but will you get married for the 5th time?
For the last time, you mean? Yeah,
You're very diplomatic.
I am, aren't I? Well, if she's watching, I want to say the right thing, you know?
No, seriously, would you ever think like 4 times it shows that you're one of life's great optimists?
You could look at it that way. That's very diplomatic as well. Yeah, but I started very young, much too young, 19. And it was sort of a part of my escape, actually, to, you know, get away from my family. You know, that age when nobody seems to, you know, believe you, have confidence in you, or you think that's the way they feel. Mm-hmm. And you cling to someone that you fall in your first love, basically. And we had a child, and then the marriage fell apart. And then I was on the run. And I think I tried, there were several marriages that I tried to compensate for
the first
that
one.
loss, you know, and married for the wrong reasons. I like the idea of having someone there, to complete a relationship. I'm not crazy about dating.
Yeah.
It isn't part of my thing.
You like the stability that...
I like, well, yeah, I like to be looked after too, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I like having someone there. And that's not necessarily the right reason, but I think it's one of the reasons that I did
Yeah,
marry.
well, if you find someone who wants you there and you want them there, then...
Well, I think
you
I've
know,
got that
happiness.
now. I'm very, very happy.
What about you, Jerry? Are you still on the lookout for another Mr. Right?
One Mr. Right would have been good. No. Yeah, I mean, I do think love is the most wonderful thing in the world. I haven't fallen in love enough to want to get married or anything like that. You know,
But what are you looking for?
I like goodness and kindness. You know, I like people who are intelligent, I can have conversation with, and you know, keeping company is nice. I'm not especially thinking that I'd want to get married again. I mean, I don't know.
It would take a lot.
It would. You never
'Cause
know.
you did that program, what was it called? Kept, with young guys. It was on VH1.
You weren't planning to marry one of those guys, were you?
No, they were too
But they were cuties, right?
Yeah. Well, the producers got the idea, they saw me in The Graduate, and they got the idea to do this kind of reality competition where 12 young guys came over, and I chose the best one, and he got to be kept for a year.
All right, but not by you.
No.
But the whole idea was a kind of Mrs. Robinson thing, where you were
Yeah.
playing the older woman
was fun,
who
yeah.
might get it on with the younger guy.
Yeah, I
Now,
suppose, yeah.
would you ever think of a younger man as a relationship partner?
I have gone out with some younger men.